Just a few days ago, on the 6th of June 2023, a dam resting on the strategic intersection of Russia and Ukraine collapsed. The recent satellite images show a horrific sight of water running all over the place, and Kherson region in particular is facing extreme flooding. But what happened? Why did this dam collapse? Was it blown away by the Russians? Let's find out. The big Kakhovka power plant is right in the middle of Nova Kakhovka, a city that's in a very touchy part of Kherson. Right now, this city is under the tough hand of Russia. This huge dam has been around since the time of the Soviets. It's one of 6 big dams sitting on the Dnipro River. This river starts from the top of the country and goes all the way down to the Black Sea. Russia has taken over the left side of Kherson, while Ukraine has the right side under its control. Behind this dam is a giant pool of water, so big that locals call it the Kakhovka Sea. There are places where you can't even see the other side of this pool. It's like looking into a sea of mystery, and it only adds to the heavy feeling hanging in the air. The dam was like a guard, holding back a huge body of water. This water was a lifeline for communities upstream, and it was also needed to keep the nuclear power plant in Zaporizhzhia cool. The power plant is about 100 miles away and is in Russian hands. The International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, says there's no immediate risk to the safety of the nuclear plant, but they're keeping an eye on things. They also mentioned that even if the water level at the dam drops to 12.7 meters, which is the minimum level to pump water up to Zaporizhzhia, there are other ways to get water to keep the nuclear plant safe. After the dam collapsed, the scary size of the damage was shown for all to see last Thursday, with new pictures taken from a satellite. Photos from before and after the scary event taken by a US company called Maxar Technologies, located in Colorado, reveal how the land in the southern part of Ukraine has been changed. The pictures highlight the big problem that emergency workers face in trying to find and save people who are stuck. Whole towns are now underwater, and thousands of people are running away from the Dnipro River, which is gushing out everywhere. The folks who run the dams in Ukraine, a group called Ukrenerho, reported that the Nova Kakhovka station is now completely ruined, and there's no fixing it. Remember, the 5th of June is the day when these images popped up, but it's not certain yet when the dam collapsed. But pictures from a satellite hint that it got worse over several days. Water from the huge Kakhovka pool started gushing out of the broken dam, and in no time flat, farms, fields, and many small towns were underwater. Many people who live on both sides of the river had to leave their homes. But we don't know just yet how bad this disaster is. The president, Volodymyr Zelensky, shared some alarming news. He warned that the river is not safe anymore. It's carrying a huge amount, 150 tons to be precise, of industrial lubricant. And that's not all he said. He added that there's a real threat that 300 tons more could seep into it. That's terrible news for farmers as well. Floods are sweeping away the soil, which means that they will suffer for years to come. And it doesn't end here. There's something even more terrifying. Floods are doing more than just washing away land. They're stirring up landmines. This raises serious fears for not only the people in Kherson, but also for those who are rushing in to help. Eric Tolefson, the person in charge at the units dealing with harmful weapons, dropped this chilling update. He claimed that they are unable to keep track of the landmines anymore. He added that all that they know is that the landmines have been carried away downstream. Oleksandr Prokutin, the regional governor, has shared some startling figures. He says about 20% of the Kherson area is now underwater. The river has risen by a good 5 to 6 meters on average, he says. So far, they've had to move almost everyone to safer places. He also points out that overall, the flooded land is on the east side of the river, controlled by Russia. This is where Ukrainian leaders are finding it really tough to help people and sort out logistics. Ukraine's military has mentioned that even some Russian troops on the other side of the river have been hit by the flood. The soldiers were in trenches, and even in homes they took over when the flood waters rushed in. But you must be wondering, what happened to them? So are we. Ukraine's military points fingers at Russia, alleging that they purposefully destroyed it since Moscow was concerned about Ukrainian forces utilizing the dam road as a means to transport troops across the river into areas controlled by Russia. They might have decided to blow away their last means of transport. Mykola Kalinin, a top engineer at a water management company in Ukraine called Ukryhydro Project, says an explosion caused the collapse. He told a Ukrainian news site that the dam was strong enough to resist even a heavy hit from outside. So, he thinks, the explosion came from within the dam itself. But speaking for the Kremlin, Dmitry Peskov blames Ukraine. He called it a Ukrainian deed to sabotage the water supply to Russian-occupied Crimea. Both Ukraine's and Russia's claims haven't been verified yet. There are other ideas as well about what might have led to the dam collapse. One theory is that the fighting around the dam might have weakened it. Mark Mulligan, a geography professor at University College London, said that the dam could have failed due to damage from the war. There is also a second thought about the incident. It is believed that Russia controls the dam, and they might have let the water level behind it rise. This would make the dam more likely to break and cause more damage as it did. Zelensky, who asked for fast and solid international help for those affected by the flood, had urgent talks with local leaders in Kherson. This is one of the 5 regions in Ukraine that Moscow says it's taken over, but only controls part of. On the messaging app Telegram, Zelensky said they talked about moving people to safety and sorting out the chaos caused by the dam explosion. They also discussed how to keep life going in the flooded areas and the potential for bringing the region's environment back to health. Plus, they went over the current military situation in the area affected by the man-made disaster. The Kremlin mentioned that Russian President Vladimir Putin doesn't plan to go to the region, but he's watching the situation closely. Putin has blamed Ukraine for ruining the dam controlled by Russia, saying they did it because their Western allies told them to. But he hasn't given any proof. Kiev has said that a few months back, Russian forces that took the dam during their invasion, which is now over a year ago, had placed explosives in the dam. They think Moscow might have blown up the dam to stop Ukrainian troops from crossing the Dnieper River as part of their counterattack. Subscribe to the channel for more blues from the world of international feuds and collapsing megastructures. What do you think about the situation? Can you sniff Russian involvement? Do let us know in the comments section below. And if you want to learn more about the most devastating collapses in the history of mankind, click on the video links popping up.